Hello, I'm Tim Heath, author of 20 novels, and today I'm reading chapter 1 from Twiggy Rattlesnake and the School of Time and Space. Chapter 1 is called The Box on the Doorstep. Car alarms are funny things. Sometimes they go off for no reason at all, waking you up or otherwise annoying a peaceful day. Other times they are screaming to the world that someone is breaking into the vehicle. In these circumstances, we are glad that the alarm is stopping a thief or drawing attention to a crime. It's when the alarm sounds for no apparent reason that it bothers us most, especially when it's in the middle of the night, as it was on this occasion, in an unassuming town in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes it's just a fault with the car. The sensors picking up a movement, the wind or a shadow, maybe even a distant vibration, and it sets off the alarm. After a while, the newer cars ring out for far too long. It stops. So, occasionally when an alarm sounds in the middle of the night, it's just a false alarm. Nothing unusual is happening. Sometimes, however, just rarely, it's them. Twiggy, a boy of precisely 13 years old, because today was his birthday, woke to the noise of the car alarm. It sounded like the same one which had been going off all week. Why hadn't someone fixed the problem already? Twiggy heard movement upstairs. The alarm had woken up his grandparents. Twiggy had lived with his grandfather and grandmother for as long as he could remember. They rarely spoke to him about his parents. They had never told him what happened to them, though he knew they were both dead. The only memories he had of either of his parents were the photos his grandmother kept in an album, tucked away safely and rarely viewed. Twiggy was a cheerful boy. His name was not actually Twiggy Rattlesnake, not officially anyway, but it was what they had always called him. His grandmother had picked the name, Twiggy, owing to his thin and knobbly nature, much like a twiglet, which was by far her favourite snack. She ate fewer of them now. She once kept a pet rattlesnake as well, her dearest of all animals, and the name had stuck from the first moment she spoke it over their new arrival, who'd been just a baby. While she spoke little of her daughter and son-in-law, Twiggy's parents, she doted over her only grandson. She'd been nervous as Twiggy's 13th birthday approached. The teenage years always caused change for those in her family's bloodline, and while she wished it could be different for her innocent grandson, she knew she couldn't shield him from his destiny. The sounding car alarm was confirmation once again. It was time. "Grandma, you're awake," Twiggy said, coming out of his room after hearing footsteps outside his door. She had come down from the top floor. They lived in a narrow, ageing, 3-story Victorian house. She ran her hand through his thick, messy black hair. "Come with me," she called, her voice croaky, as she headed down the stairs to the ground floor. Twiggy pulled his dressing gown tight around his small body and followed her. The lounge was tidy. A present and some cards lay on the table, his grandparents having prepared things for him the night before. But she wasn't heading towards the lounge, instead heading for the front door. "And happy birthday, Twiggy," she added, giving his hair another ruffle with her tiny hands. He didn't mind one bit. He smiled. "What are we doing?" he asked as she opened the front door. "I dare say there is something waiting for you outside." "Really?" They'd never been able to afford very much. His grandparents had already retired before he came to live with them, money always tight. Was it possible they had really got him the bike he'd been dreaming of? But why would it be outside? And why did he need to see it at 3 in the morning? When he opened the front door, there was no bike. He shouldn't really have imagined such an impossible gift. But there was a box, his name written on the white tag that hung from the blue ribbon. His grandmother let out a sigh. Twiggy's eyes lit up brightly. "Grandma!" he exclaimed, bending down immediately to pick up the box. not taking it in the fact she was looking less than excited, as if, in fact, she'd been dreading the moment. They went back inside, closing the door, his grandmother having glanced out from the doorstep into the darkness for a second, but Twiggy had his focus solely on the surprise package to notice any of that. When Twiggy had ripped open the box and dug through the protective material, presumably keeping whatever he was about to find safe, his hand landed on a strange, round object. His other hand picked up the letter. Twiggy studied the object closely. There didn't seem much to it, and he couldn't imagine why it needed such an enormous box for something so relatively little. No bigger than a tennis ball, but not looking anything like one. He'd seen nothing like it before in his life. "Grandma?" he said, looking up at her for the first time, now spotting that her face was showing anything but surprise. "You'd better read the letter, dear. That always helps explain things a little more." Twiggy put the strange, orb-shaped object back into the box and opened the letter carefully. The header read, "The School of Time and Space." "Grandma?" he said again, now sure this was some kind of joke. "Read it, dear," was all she said, peering over his shoulder, looking again at a letter she'd first received on her own 13th birthday and had seen again on the morning of her daughter's 13th. "We cordially invite you to enroll in the next school year. We are waiting for you. We have enclosed your time changer. We have pre-programmed it for you, just this once, so you can complete your first challenge. See the enclosed information. Your white armband is in the box. You will wear it for the first day of school. The school year starts yesterday at precisely 7:03 a.m. above the recreation grounds of Tawny Village. Do not be late." "Is this some kind of joke, Grandma? I don't understand." "What does the other piece of paper say?" she asked, peering into the box. He'd not taken in the second piece of paper, marked at the top with Challenge 1, written in bold letters. He read it aloud. "We request you to attend your 12th birthday party, which you will be able to do with the enclosed time changer. Be sure to complete the following instructions and it will transport you back 1 year precisely. After that, arriving for the first day of school should be no problem at all." Twiggy glanced through the instructions. There were 10 points mentioned, which meant very little to him at that moment. "I don't understand," he said, reaching back into the box, picking up the orb once more, the thing the letter called a time changer, and locating the white armband that the letter had mentioned. He had been sure it wasn't there when he'd first opened the box. "Let's leave this until the morning, okay? I think it's time you went back to bed." "But," though he didn't know what more to say, and his grandmother cut him off. "Bed," and that was that. Outside, it was silent once more. The car alarms had stopped sounding. The messenger from the School of Time and Space had already gone. So that's chapter 1 from Twiggy Rattlesnake and the School of Time and Space. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, let me know in the comments. If you want more, let me know in the comments. And do look out, because I will be recording a video for chapter 2.